Beneath the Planet of the Apes is, of course, the sequel to the successful Planet of the Apes from 1968. Yes, guys, we are continuing my series of Planet of the Apes reviews leading up to War of the Apes. Now we're on to Beneath of the Apes. Beneath of the Apes is a film that I really think that it was so unnecessary to make because Planet of the Apes was so good, that it was so great that I felt that it shouldn't have been a sequel to that film. But of course, we got a sequel to Planet of the Apes with Beneath of the Apes. And Beneath of the Apes is actually one of the most unnecessary sequels and one of the most weirdest sequels I've ever seen in my life because this movie is pretty weird. So Beneath takes place right after the end of Planet of the Apes, where Taylor finds out that he's actually on Earth, where he's here at the Statue of Liberty, and he goes, "You maniacs, you blow it out, darn you all to hell." And we get another astronaut who will also crash land onto the planet, who works for Taylor and his other crewmate, Brent. And he is actually looking for Taylor, who he thinks who is on the same planet as him, and he encounters Nova, of course, Taylor's girlfriend, and they go beneath the Planet of the Apes with all these weird religious people, which I'm just gonna get to later. This movie shows that it wasn't really necessary to make a sequel to Planet of the Apes because the Beneath the Apes is a pretty boring film. Like, I didn't really find anything in this movie interesting at all, besides the political speeches that we've been having from the Apes and Dr. Zayas and some of the other things that went on in this movie. Which is like, so what is the point of making a sequel to a film that was so groundbreaking that it didn't really need to add a sequel or spin-offs or cartoon series or even reboots that we have now? So watching the first movie the other night and watching this movie, it's like comparing like apples and oranges. Like, it's like they didn't really need to do this. Plus, the Beneath the Planet of the Apes part is pretty like, oh my god, like what the heck. And this movie had terrible effects when Taylor and Nova are on the horse and they run into a big fire, and it's obvious fake fire that you see on screen, which is like, oh my god, you just coming out from the first movie, which was A plus masterpiece, and then you come out with fake fire? Are you kidding me? And the fire, like, what? You couldn't even add like real fire? Oh my god, I know it was 1970, but the first movie came out in 1968. So at least it has the effect. I know CGI wasn't even all invented back then, but I don't know. And when Taylor disappears into thin air, it's obvious bad effect right there. Like, this movie has bad effects. Like, bad effects. And when Brent fights the ape, and the fight was so bad that got me cracking up laughing. I'm like, how in the world are they able to get away with this? I mean, my god. I mean, half of the time, this movie feels like a made-for-TV sequel or direct-to-video sequel, because this movie doesn't really feel like it was made in theaters or nothing. I mean, I'm not saying this movie is terrible or awful. There are things in the movie I like. I mean, of course, the apes, they still look great. They have Cornelius and Zero back. Dr. Zayas are back too. Dr. Zayas, I forgot what I say in my the original Planet of the Apes review. I say like Dr. Zayas is one of my favorite characters in this franchise. He's actually my favorite ape. But in this movie, I feel that it went on just too short, in my opinion, which is not really a bad thing or a good thing. I don't really know how to put it. But I feel that this movie, like I said, the sequel should not have been made. But okay, let's get to the Beneath of the Planet of the Apes. Okay, so Nova and Brent encounter these religified people, which is getting to the point where it's like, okay, where is this going? And then when they take off their mask, and they see like these alien, like, I don't know what they were, because soon as they take off their mask, I'm like, what the heck is going on? What the heck is going on? They look like the villain from Star Trek Insurrection. The guy with the stretched up face. That's how they look like. That's how they look like. And they start doing mind control things and stuff too. Which is like, this is taking me out on this. This is kind of way taking me out of this journey that we had in the first movie, where it set the ground for the tone, even though the movie is filled with apes. But in a way, that movie is very dark and serious, if you really think about it that way. This movie goes the silly route. And it gets to the point where, like, it takes me out of this journey, which I was like, come on now. And then Brent finds Taylor. While the religious by black guy, he mind controls Taylor and Brent so they could fight each other, but they ended up killing him. And this movie also has the nerve to kill off Taylor, which I'm just like, why would you kill off Taylor, especially when he comes in at the final act of this movie? Because we don't see Taylor, we see flashbacks of him for like why was he missing? We never really see him in the first two acts. We only see him in the last act. Then boom, they kill him off. Then he accidentally pressed the button and launched the missile to the sky or whatever. I don't know. This movie was weird. This is a weird movie. It's one of those sequels where I'm just like, what were they thinking when they were writing the script? I'm like, I guess like the directors or the writers were high when they write the script or something. I honestly don't know. Beneath the Planet of the Apes is a disappointing sequel, especially when you come off of a film that was so groundbreaking and so great. It set the standards and the tone for just the sci-fi genre. And you come off with the silly stuff like with these Star Trek Insurrection looking people, religious people, and then doing mind control thing. This movie is weird. This is a weird movie. I'm gonna give Beneath the Planet of the Apes a C. And this is just one of those sequels where it's just not as good as the first movie. It's very disappointing, and it's not a terrible movie at all. I love the prosthetic makeup on the apes and the setting, but that was pretty much it. This movie just almost like a bit of nothing. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys, and stay tuned for my review of Escape of the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, because that is going to be fun. But, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of Beneath in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, if you are new to my channel and you like this video, and if you want to see more of my reviews of the Planet of the Apes films, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.